We're live, we're live, we're live. Oh my God, that just turned me like Enya. Let's see. Kindle, about to get started with our Magical Monday. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. You know what? There it is. I want to know what that is. Mmm. Oh, shoot. Shoot, today's reframe is powerful. Oh my gosh, you guys are going to freaking love it. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Oh, come on now. Get ready. It's Magical Monday. Oh, yeah. That was a little bit Macho Man Randy Savage. It's Magical Monday. You guys know we're going to start off with our favorite Josh video. And Justin, tell me if you can hear me, good man. I hope so. All right. And make sure you can hear me through the mic. One of our sessions, you could hear me through the laptop, but not the mic. You should hear me through the mic. It looks like it's lighting up. All right. Shall we pull up on our Magical Monday, our favorite content creator, Josh? That's right.
Dude, you know what?
I know. Look, dude,
like,
Josh.
Just started, dude.
I know. 2 seconds. I got to pull one up you haven't seen before. Ready? You guys ready? Okay. Our boy.
Dude, you know what actually rips in your 30s is just like love, dude. Like, dude, just having your person and just cruising through life with your hottest homie, dude. It's just awesome, man. Like, I'm just having a sleepover with my best friend for the rest of my life, dude. Dude, it's just righteous. I hope everyone gets this, dude, because it's so rad.
All right. Did you hear that, guys? If you don't think that's a Magical Monday, bro, I don't know what is, man. Today is about, Friday and Monday. Monday is Magical Monday, which means everything we do today is about putting on the blue lens of gratitude and kindness. And that is also Friday. So you understand, we bookmark, bookend our weeks, Monday and Friday. Friday is always Good Friday. It's a day of constant gratitude. And today is the day of just looking for the positive. So today is a Magical Monday, right? It is if we tell ourselves it is. Now, good morning, business builders, and welcome to Business for Breakfast, where business is the most important meal of the day. I'm your host, Aaron Novinger, the Venti Business Guy, otherwise known as VBG. Our goal on this show is to make you 1% smarter today by unpacking business news over the last 24 hours, sprinkled with tips and tricks to help you mind your own business. Now, I know you're not here for me. You're here for the morning mark. Here's the good news. No props required, no drinks, no gear, just you and a functioning brain. We'll work with what we've got. Wherever you are, desk, truck, kitchen, job site, standing, or sitting. It doesn't matter. Pick one thing you will finish today. Not a list, not 10, not 3, just one. Now mark it mentally and write it down. That is the line in the sand. That's the thing the day doesn't get to erase. That's the pause that sharpens the edge, the moment that turns noise into signal. It's the tiny act that makes business owners dangerous in a good way. That, my friends, is your morning mark. Your day has officially started. All right, my beautiful people. You drive, I dive, buckle up, buttercup, let's roll. And you know today is Magical Monday. And I just gave you the greatest Josh video in history. I did, okay? But I know some of you guys just joined, and you're going to want to hear this again. Because, again, Magical Monday is just about the way are looking through the red lens of critical eye, right? The blue lens. Monday is Magic Blue Lens Day. Everything today is through the lens and the filter of kindness, love, respect, gratitude. That's Monday. Monday is Blue Lens Day. It's so important we do that today. You got to reset the week. And I don't know, man. I kind of feel like you guys probably need to hear this again, man. Don't you think? Hold on 2 seconds. Let me pull up my boy here. Okay, 2 seconds. Here you go. Are you ready? You just need to hear it again, man. Ready? Here's Josh. Magical Monday.
Dude, you know what actually rips in your 30s is just like love, dude. Like, dude, just having your person and just cruising through life with your hottest homie, dude. It's just awesome, man. Like, I'm just having a sleepover with my best friend for the rest of my life, dude. It is just righteous. I hope everyone gets this, dude, because it's so rad. Dude, you know what actually...
Did you hear that? Did you get that, guys? I know, right? Love, bro. So JAWSH, you guys know every Monday, bro. And half the time they get copyrighted. I just don't care. Like, to me, that dude just embodies what Monday is, man. Are you hearing me? Does that make sense? Okay. Now, I think you guys are ready for some juicy news. Juicy news. Now, here's the thing with the juicy news. You guys know that this is up-to-date, relevant news. But you guys know, like, we have this like informal agreement between us. And by the way, thank you for Jesse on Fire, because this dude, he's got the highest subscriber count of anybody I know. But the dude just literally, he talks to you like the whole time, like, hey, by the way, you know that like we've got this agreement between us. It's a handshake thing, right? Like, here's I'm going to do what I'm saying I'm going to do here. I'm pursuing my word, and you're going to do the same thing. Just like and subscribe. It's the only thing that it's the only form of payment for this show. That's it, man. Especially because it's a new show. I'm like, 35 episodes in. I'm not even at 100 episodes. So the algorithm really, really enjoys it when you like and subscribe. Thank you, guys. It means everything to me. And today being the day, thank you. Okay. Now, let's jump into some juicy news, which is going to blow your mind. I know it is. Are you guys ready? It's crazy, bro. Today being, you guys know, today is the 9th, which means there it is. Okay. Oh, SBA. Here's the story. SBA citizens only era begins. Green card holders now ineligible, right? So we've been talking about this for quite a while now. But effective March 1st, the Small Business Administration has officially restricted its popular 7A and 504 loan programs to businesses owned 100% by U.S. citizens or nationals. This policy change, aligning with protecting the American people against invasion, executive order ends decades of access to lawful permanent residents, green card holders. Okay, so why does it matter to us? It have even a 1% non-citizen partner, your SBA financing options just vanished. Remember, it has to be 100% owned by U.S. citizens. Nobody that owns this business can have a green card. Okay, you have to now seek more expensive conventional bank. It doesn't mean you can't get it. It just means SBA can't loan to you, which is fantastic for us because that means there's more funds available for us, the actual small business owner who actually happens to be citizens. And don't forget, small business was just incentivized 25% of the income that they generate from interest for loans. They don't have to claim for taxes for small business. They're actually incentivizing small banks to loan to small business over big business. Is that not crazy, man? You can feel that the tide is turning, right? You can feel it. But along that same line, man, we talk almost every day about the SBA and about the big changes that are coming through. But along with that, SBA has purged over 1,000 what they call shell firms that have been kicked out of federal contracting. So the SBA has officially moved to terminate over 1,000 firms from the 8A business development program after a sweeping audit revealed they were corporate shells or exceeded the economic limits. That's right. So Administrator Kelly Loeffler stated the sweep restores the program to its goal of helping truly small, disadvantaged shops. Hello, mom and pop Venti shops. That's us. Why this is a big deal for us? It's like leveling the playing field for us. Okay. You've got all of these, like, remember this all happened in the PPP, where you had these big entities, big franchises, all getting like the majority of the lion's share of the money. What they said, out of $1 trillion that was loaned out for PPP, that 200 billion of it, like around 20% of it, was just fraud. 200 billion. 200 billion. It's insane. Fraud. It's crazy. It's crazy. What else is going on in the news today? Oh, goodness gracious. There's so many great stories going on, man. I literally have to cherry pick the best prices. Okay, not the best prices, the best stories. That's because the next story is about prices, and my brain was already ahead. All right, here's the story. Diesel prices soar as oil hits $110 plus a barrel amid Iran conflict. Now, we get spoiled being here in the Midwest because we deal with that. We get to have some of the lowest fuel gas prices in the country. It was weird. This is probably like, I don't know, like maybe a few months ago, went out to California to go visit my grandmother, and I drove out there, and I was like, $5 a gallon. My mind was so melted with that. I just couldn't comprehend what I was like seeing it was weird to me. And so, because we're so used to paying like between 2 and 2.50 a gallon of gas. I know you're like, what? That was 20 years ago pricing. No. That's just the pricing every day in the Midwest, except for this whole Iran thing, because price of gas went up. I noticed 50 cents, at least 50 cents a gallon, maybe even 70 cents a gallon. Now, luckily, OPEC really does a good job of controlling that. And so it's not fuel prices. OPEC decided that decades ago that they would be the ones that the fuel prices, not necessarily supply and demand. I know OPEC uses supply and demand, but they also use other factors when determining. It's a small group of peeps, man, that basically determine. Basically, they are the Rothschilds of the oil business. They dictate everything. Like the Rothschilds for the Federal Reserve and money, and them and the Rockefellers, the same thing with OPEC. Like they control everything. Okay, so but this is a big deal for us because us brick and mortar shops, service providers, we buy from these big suppliers who are having to adjust what they charge us for invoicing, higher trip charge, because they're paying more in fuel. And these big companies are not going to eat it. They're going to pass it to us. So be prepared. You saw it at the pump in the last week or two. Expect to see it in the next month or two's invoices that are about to come up. Expect it, which means we need to, on your COGS, you need to go up by probably 2% points until fuel kind of settles down, just to be safe. Just to be safe. Okay. What else is going on in the news today? Dude, this is a biggie. Federal judge rules importers entitled to tariff refunds. And we discussed this last week because Supreme Court voted that one of the tariffs that the Trump administration used was illegal against the Constitution. And by the way, I thank you, Supreme Court, for just playing it by the book. That's all we really care about. That's why you're in that place. As long as you just do, look, and we understand some of you guys lean one way, some lean another way, but as long as your baseline is just Constitution, I think we're going to be okay. And by the way, I appreciate multiple points of view on a topic, right? And so, but here's the story. U.S. Court of International Trade judge has ruled that businesses that paid tariffs struck down by the Supreme Court are entitled to refunds. Now, the decision clarifies that process for the billions collected under the now invalid IEEPA tariff. And we're going to find out what is the IEEPA tariff. Are you ready? The IEEPA tariff refers to a series summarized in 100 words, please. By the way, when you talk to your AI, you've got to be polite, bro. It will change the answers for you. The IEEPA tariffs were additional imports duties imposed by President Trump 2025 under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. It was a 1977 law. He declared national emergency over issues like drug trafficking, fentanyl from China, Canada, Mexico, and large U.S. trade deficits, and used IEEPA to levy tariffs such as 25% on many Canadian Mexican imports, 10% on Chinese goods, and higher reciprocal tariffs on most global trading partners. But I think it supposedly generated between 140 and 175 billion in collected dues. But the kicker is he's going to just basically, because he found out which ones actually do work, And so he's going to go back and just implement that tariff, and probably backdate it. So even though the story is you do and you do kind of have access to a refund, bro. Uh, for me, yes, there's a process to apply for the refund. First, typically the paperwork and the process is so cumbersome that if you have the time, okay, and you go get it, what I'm worried about is that he gets those reassigned, because I just don't see that dude issuing $175 billion in refund checks. I think he likes to have that money in the system. And so what it looks like to me is he'll just figure out, he's not a guy that you can tell no. He's going to figure out um, which lily pad to step on to cross the pond. And this lily pad he's sunk, but he's going to try it again with a different lily pad. So to me, it's just going to be reassigned. And if anybody gets a refund and then they reassign and then backdate the tariff, then they're going to come back to you that you owe this money with penalty and interest, because that's just how the Treasury does it. If you ever owe the Treasury money, it's always with a penalty and interest. I haven't seen it any other way. And by the way, this is actually important for you guys to know, because that's what we do, man. Our job is really to be that partner for you guys. And so if you guys have any questions about what we do, you can go to Accounting Plus Accountability. We're the only accounting firm on earth that does your accounting. Plus, we have dedicated account managers who are like pocket CFOs, whose job is to make sure that you are profiting and you are doing well as a business. We always have a 2x guarantee, profit guarantee. Once you start with us, within 12 months, we guarantee we'll double your profits, and you'll be dominating your market. So, but if you guys have any questions about that, you can go to Accounting Plus Accountability. In the upper right-hand corner, there's a place to hit Talk with Aaron. That goes right to my scheduling page. Talk to me about anything you want to talk about, consulting, strategy, and any of this paperwork, by the way, because there's a lot of this paperwork we talk about from the SBA and all this different stuff. And I know it seems overwhelming, but that's what we do all day long. I mean, we're a administrative, ministerial type of company. It's what you kind of do with accounting. And we service the mom and pop Venti shop, which is 1 to 20 employees. That's probably 85% of our customer base. And so if you guys have questions about anything, you can always go there, and you can always ask a question on Accounting Plus Accountability. It'll take you to our radio page. And so you can go check us out there. And if you have any questions, just let us know. But I know this seems overwhelming to you guys, but again, you'll have a better understanding about what we do and how we do it and why we're the only firm on earth that does what we do. And just go to accountingplusaccountability.com. What else is going on in the news today? Really? Bro, I tell you, man, because it's the 1st of March and there was so many new things with SBA and lending that went into place starting March 1. So everything today is about the money. It's about the money. All right. Here's the story. March grant opportunities for small businesses open now. That's right. The story. Several grants up to $20,000 are available this month for small businesses, including Skip's 10K grants, Mona Impact grants, and AI-related funding with deadlines as soon as mid-March. Why it matters to us: non-dilutive funding can fund marketing, equipment, expansion for our independent shops without loans. These are grants. So review eligibility and apply ASAP to gain competitive edge in tough economic times. And we pulled this from bizjournal.com. It was actually in the news a couple of days ago. I think the title of the article was Small Business Grants, March 2026. So, but there's a lot of new loans and grants that are coming due and coming out for specifically us, which is fantastic, because I feel like for this, and remember, we don't play politics in the show, and we don't see red or blue. To us, it's just, politics is politics. So this show, our bread and butter, our heartbeat is you, the mom and pop Venti shop. So today, every day, this show is really about us suffering less. And I always say it's like that 1 hour church service on the way to work. The job for this show is to set you right, so that way the world can beat you up, and at the end of the day, you still feel encouraged to tackle the week. Especially Magical Monday, man. That is why we do this show, and why Magical Monday is so important. What else is going on in the news today? I know, right? There's so much stuff. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. Whoa. Really? Okay, so listen to this. So here's the story. Midnight deadline $50,000 AI glasses impact grants. The story today, March 9th, 2026, is the final deadline to apply for the AI glasses impact grants. This program is awarding 25 accelerator grants and 5 catalyst grants. So 25 accelerator grants at 25 to 50,000 and 5 catalyst grants, 200,000 to businesses using smart wearable tech to improve operations or community impact. Why, why it matters. This non-dilutive capital to help us modernize. So if your shop is experimenting with smart inventory or like an AR, like customer experience, you have until 11:59 p.m. tonight, okay, to secure that cash. And by the way, if you get it, it doesn't have to be repaid. These are actual grants, okay? So grants member, if you get it, you're approved. And by the way, and that's what I always say before, it's like a lot of the stuff you're like, oh my gosh, Ron, I don't know how to do that. And that's okay. If you guys go to accountingplusaccountability.com, you'll see in the upper hand corner is a place to talk with Aaron. Just schedule a call with me and we'll talk about this stuff. And, we can help you guys with a lot of this paperwork because that's what we do all day long is paperwork. What else is going on? Are you ready? Are you guys ready in the service industry? Because we service hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of small business, and some of, I'd say probably a third of our customer base, our clientele is the mom and pop restaurant, about a third. So this story is fantastic for them because what's about to happen is the secret to their workforce is their servers, their waiters, waitresses. And so here's the story. No tax on tips. The provision officially hits payroll schedules. So the story is the Treasury officials confirmed today that the first 25,000 of tipped income is now effectively exempt from federal income tax under One Big Beautiful Bill Act. So employers must now ensure their payroll systems are utilizing the new code TP on tax documents to ensure staff sees the benefit. And so that's also a big thing for us too. And matter of fact, I'll make a little note here for the accountants. Tips, payroll. No tax on tips is called TP, and servers should see it. What it means is that you still have to claim it, but that first 25,000 is you don't have to pay taxes on it, which is just unbelievable. I mean, if this is not the strongest recruitment tool for 2026 for the mom and pop restaurant, bro, I don't know what is. I mean, now offering basically tax advantage career to servers, anybody that gets tips, stylists, drivers, bro, yes, like giving your local shop a massive edge over the corporate chains. Remember, the big boys beat us in everything. They have the economies of scale. They have the systems. They have the money, the resources, the knowledge and training. They have the technology. They have everything except for the level of customer service and our level of authenticity. And so if we can attract more into the service-based industry, individuals that typically maybe wouldn't have, but they're like, dude, it's just easier because then I get paid according to how I act and respond. Usually when you work in a big company, you get bonuses, but it's based on the company. It really has nothing to do with you personally. And that's always been the issue that I've had with that stuff, man. And so, but for you guys, this is a massive edge to boost recruitment because it's boosting take-home pay for your biggest workforce, which is your servers. This is huge, man. This is huge. It's huge, people. It's huge, huge. Here's the story. Alabama Senate passes SNAP, candy and soda ban. Grocers wary. Oh, my word. Bro, can I tell you something, man? I don't understand why it is. It's really weird, man, because it's like there's entire industries, big food basically being it. And you know that like most big food is owned by big pharma. And so it is such a broken system. You know that we're like the only country that removes all fiber from our diets on purpose. Like we do it on purpose. because we know fiber fills us up and neutralizes our blood sugar. And we've got to be constantly having little dopamine releases. And we never want anybody to get full. So we keep eating their crap. And unfortunately, the demographic that is most taken advantage of is lower income. And that's what the fast food and what they put in there, the MSGs and the different addictive ingredients they put in there to make you want to keep buying their stuff. And then all the sodas and the candy. And that was all SNAP approved, meaning food stamps, bro. Like my kids, like my son's 30. And, but I remember when Beck and I were like, this dude was like, he was a couple years old and we had food stamps and it was actually stamps back in the day. And there was only a handful of items that we were allowed to it was like the staples. It was like the proteins. It was like the milks, the breads, the cheeses. It was like eggs, chicken. It was that type of stuff. You couldn't go buy candies and sodas with it. Never. And Alabama is finally bringing it back. And here's the thing. It's very easy to get upset at the person that is obese, but the problem is that their body is taken over by an addiction. If you see anybody that's suffering from an addiction, the addiction drives the body, not the individual. The addiction's been driving in the driver's seat of that body for years, oftentimes decades, man. So I just feel bad, man, because people, that's the thing is companies back in the 90s stopped being passionate about their people. When I say people, I'm talking about their team members and their customers. Up until the 90s, people used to build crap that was built to last. Every single company out there, they were either an employee owned or they had pensions. Everybody out there, it was about the people. And then in the 90s, they started shifting to being passionate about profits. Yep. And screwing over their team members and their customers. Now, everything, here we are, fast forward 30-ish years later, everything's disposable. You don't own anything. You rent everything. It's subscription based. Like my Amazon, the amount of movies I quote unquote own. Yeah, the problem is if I don't have Amazon, I don't own any of these movies. They stay with Amazon. So I don't actually own anything. I know. It's a freaking joke, man. It's a joke. But I really love the fact that Alabama is finally getting back to the basics, man. Okay. It is a compliance nightmare for the small grocers and the convenience stores. The big boys will have no problem because they have entire divisions that literally have to go in and that's all they do. This division goes in and fixes that. It's the gas stations that take SNAP, and it's the small grocers because the big boys can take it all. They just change their software and it's fine, right? So, and again, once again, we're talking about, the big boys. What separates, great small business from great large business? Market. MRKT, money, resources, knowledge and training, and technology, right? So all we have to do is level the playing field and give the same money, resources, knowledge and training, technology to mom and pop. And by the way, that is what we do at Interstate Business Management at our accounting firm. And if you want to check us out, what we do, go to Accounting Plus Accountability, and you can schedule a call with AA Ron. We'll talk about anything you want to talk about. You can submit a question if you want to. But we're the only accounting firm on earth that, yes, takes care of your financials, which documents what you did yesterday. But then we partner with you, hold you accountable, help you define your goals, give you clarity, hold you accountable to those goals. And then we help you minimize mistakes, especially the ones that cost you money. We're the only accounting firm on earth that's Accounting Plus Accountability. And if you want to check us out, go to accountingplusaccountability.com. All right. What else is going on in the news today? Huh? I told you, man. The news on Mondays is always ripe because, and don't forget, I haven't done a show since I did Wednesday morning, but then I was out of town Thursday and Friday. We were doing interviews for the St. Louis accounting office. And we're hiring a new office coordinator out there. Matter of fact, today is second interviews. So really, really excited about that. But I didn't do a show there. And so now that's 5 days of Venti news. And trust me, that's why Mondays, I have more news than time. Well, plus I talk a lot. You guys already know. That's mainly why you guys are here, right? Hear this dude talk? Yeah, right. Let's talk about some news, shall we? Okay, cool. How about this? Retail sales dip signals consumer caution. So here's the story. Commerce Department reported a 0.2% decline in January retail sales, Online up, but physical mixed. So the online sales is up, but we also know that there's two entities that primarily report that, Amazon and Walmart. So of course their sales are going to be up. Of course they are. Okay. But local shops, what that means for us is we're seeing less foot traffic. Okay. And by the way, if you don't have your custom cash flow plan built for your business where you know exactly how much to set aside for your taxes, how much you should be set aside for your pay, not taking too much or too little, what you should be putting in your profit account, taking once a quarter, and how much you should be setting aside to basically take care of all your operating expenses. You know that we build and have been building custom cash flow plans for our businesses for almost 60 years. You know, we've been in business since 1968 doing this one thing. So if you have any questions and you want us to like, hey, Ron, bro, I need help, bro. I need some strategy planning or whatever. I got a question about taxes, accounting, whatever. You can always hit us up. Go to Accounting Plus Accountability. You'll see in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see that little place to click for to talk to me, and we'll schedule a call to talk about anything you want to talk about. All right. So, but this is a big story for us, man. And if we want to talk about it, let's talk through it. Okay. Let's see what else is going on in the news today. Oh, no way. Pennsylvania, bro. You know, I grew up in Philly. And I say Philly, in my elementary years, my parents, my mom, my natural dad, and my adopted dad were all air traffic controllers in the Navy. So my mom and adopted dad, when I was growing up in elementary school, were in the Navy. And so, and that was, and there's it's been closed now, but back in the day, there was a naval air station called NAS Willow Grove. And I tell you, man, growing up in Philly, actually, we're in Warminster, if you guys know where that's at. It's a suburb of Philly, but man, it was amazing. And so anytime I hear, and honestly, part of the biggest reason why I'm not like this big Cowboys fan is because, first of all, I'm just not. But you can't grow up in Philly and not be obsessed with all of the sports teams, all of them. And not only that, I jokingly tell people, I didn't even know I was white until I moved to Texas. And I was like, huh? What the hell is this? I don't like this at all. You know, I was like, can I get a woot woot? You know, I feel like Elf, you know, when he found out that, like, wait a minute, if he finds out he's human, and he's like, oh my God, like, I'm like, what? And so, but here's a great story about Pennsylvania. So the SB 1205 aims to prohibit unfair dynamic pricing on essential and required equivalent coupons. So why it matters to us and why it affects us. It affects how independent retailers can or must price their goods online in store. And by the way, this is one of those things that drove me nuts because I saw this happen so many times with Walmart, where you go and you have their app open. Here's the price. And by the way, I'm not just talking like they're generic. I'm talking in the store, because as soon as you open up the Walmart app in store, the Wi-Fi, your Wi-Fi is on, it'll pull up in store mode, and you can search for product and tell you what aisle it's at. And it also tells you the price. You know how many times I have caught when you go to the register and ring it up, it's a different price? All the time. It's not just Pennsylvania, bro. New York is doing the same thing. The Grocery Price Fairness Bill. That's right. Consumer Grocery Price Fairness Act. This is in New York. Would ban price discrimination favoring big chains over independent and supplier deals. Independent retail groceries could get better supplier terms and lower costs, track bill, and voice support if it levels the playing field. Bro, if you know anything that I've talked about for 10 years, that is all we do here at Interstate Business Management. Our only job is the 7 plates of business, which, you know, plate 1 is the trade, that's what the customer knows you buy: the dry cleaning, the doctor, the donut store, whatever it is. Then you got the accounting plate. You got sales and marketing. You got the HR plate. You got the customer service plate. You got logistics plate. And you have the IT plate. Okay, so we as owners have to spin all 7 plates. And you know, as a small business, full service small business back office company, we start with plate number 2 because it's universally the one plate everybody hates spinning, which is the accounting plate. And then we work with you over the years, because for us, they're, you know, with our small business owners, they're like 30-year partnerships. And so it's like, we know over the next few years, we're going to basically help you spin the rest of the plates, taking more of that weight off your shoulders so you can spin plate 1. Okay. And all we do is focus on leveling the playing field. We don't want to get rid of the big boys. We just want to level the playing field. Do you think it's fair? I'm just going to ask you, just sitting there, you know, do you think it's fair that if you had an idea to have, I don't know, like the best sandwich shop in town, and you open up like 12 years ago and last 10 years, you open up 10 years ago and last 10 years, your local neighborhood paper voted you out of 8 of the last 10 years best sandwich shop in town. Did you know that it's not if, but when you go out of business? Right. Because you have no economies of scale and you pay the highest cost of every line item on your profit and loss statement. And starting with the very first thing, which is your COGS, right? Then all the other line items. For 10 years, this is what we've been working on, leveling the playing field. In my opinion, it is not okay that if you want to have the best sandwich shop in town, that you pay the highest cost for food because you don't want to take over the world. That is not okay to me. It should be that whether you are a McDonald's or you are a brick and mortar venti shop, that you both pay the same for food. You should, and you will. Trust me, it's coming. It's coming. You'll see. You'll see within 5, no more than 10 years, a mom and pop venti shop will be getting better than McDonald's pricing on food. Mark my words. It's coming. What else is going on in the news today? Oh, bro, check this, bro. Huge story. Silver tsunami. Retiring owners put millions of jobs at risk. Here's the story, man. Nearly half of small business owners, 55 plus, but many lack succession plans as boomers retire. By the way, that is a big thing that we do for our businesses. Every year, we have a package. It's called like an entity maintenance package that we do for our business owners. Like literally, like there's all these annual meeting minutes and all these things that we have to create every year to make sure that your entity stays in good standing, as well as like file the franchise report and all this different stuff. Okay. But the thing is one of those things that we do is succession planning, and we review it. Let's review the operating agreement, make sure there's no changes there. And then we got to review the succession plan, make sure the terms there, how's the insurance, what's the buy-sell agreement look like? Do we need to put one in place? Do we need to modify it? All these different things. Okay. But again, it's just like, look, the reason why we hire a personal trainer at the gym, it's not because we don't know how to work out. It's because we know that that person is in a place, usually of higher knowledge certification than we are, but really they're there to hold us accountable. And that's all this is, right? So this is a big thing for retirees. And by the way, if you need help with this, this is easy cheesy, man. We can do this with our eyes closed. Go to accountingplusaccountability.com. That's accountingplusaccountability.com. And you can talk directly with me. You'll see in the upper right-hand corner is a little button that says talk with Aaron. It goes right to my schedule, schedule the time, and we'll talk right about this. We'll talk about, we'll do some strategy planning with you guys. But you can also go there, see what it is we do and why we're the only accounting firm on earth that does what we do. Let's see. Okay, what else is going on in the news today? Oh, man. Here's the story. February jobs report shows 92,000 less jobs, which is raising the economic concern. So this is the weird thing about jobs, man, because we know, by the way, I typically don't trust. A good rule of thumb is that whenever you see anything in the news or the media that is like economics or politics driven, I would say 99% of the time it is inaccurate, meaning 99% of the time it's a lie, either a big lie or a white lie or a lie of omission. If you see data without percentages, it's propaganda. If you see percentages without data, it's propaganda. Okay. So I try to be real intentional because I just saw a number of 92,000. We don't see that as the overall percentage. But what we also don't know is, was that a correction because of how stuff was calculated before? I don't know, but that does worry me. Mainly because what that tells me is that the mom and pop venti shop, and there's only about 30 million of us ish. We are kind of in that weird place of hide and seek, like wait and see, like, Red Rover, should we hire the next team member, like that, So I don't really know, but I'm telling you, the economic data is cautious, and which means if the economic data is cautious, which it is, then you should also see a lower than anticipated job report, because cautious individuals wait. That's what cautious means. That's what a yellow light means. Wait, right? Yield. That's what it means. Yield. So we're yielding right now. But I mean, we're hiring. So I'm not saying that nobody's hiring. I mean, I was just out of town Thursday and Friday doing interviews for the St. Louis office. So I know we are, and I know there's lots and lots of our owners that are hiring. And I don't know, maybe that's partly because of how we structure and engineer them. And I don't know, but they're just great businesses, it usually 99% of the time it's the owner because they have to do all the hard work. And so I was like, okay, if we can be, 1% of their success, then that would be amazing, but just kind of understand that cautious, a economic environment that's cautious is going to be lower jobs. They kind of go hand in hand. Okay. Dude, so here's the new story. New 3.1% B&O tax on payment processing hits service providers. Okay, so here's what this is. Several states have implemented a new business and occupation tax rate of 3.1% specifically on services related to acquiring or routing electronic transactions. This fee is separate from standard processing fees and is aimed at payment card processing activities. I swear, bro. This is, let me just find out the states. Which state, somebody's about to, I try really hard during this to not, which states are looking at, and by the way, I'm doing this with you. I have no idea. I'm going to guess they have to be leaning blue. And again, we don't do politics here. We just know that typically blue left leaning tends to do things that aren't common sense. Like where you're like, remove political affiliation. If you implement a new 3.1% payment processing tax, is that going to hurt or help small business in your city or your state? Remember, no pick politics. I'm asking you a question. You already know the answer. Okay. So that's my thing is the reason why I've been independent, I don't know, for 15 years. It's because common sense rules for me. I just do what makes sense, And so let's find out which states are looking at the new 3.1% payment processing. I have no idea where it's pulling for us right now. Washington freaking State, bro. And I love Washington State. But you know what's about to happen, bro. The tax was established, listen to me, under House Bill 2020, passed May of 2025, and officially took effect on January 1st of 2026. This is already in play, bro, in Washington. Dude. The rate's now 3.1, and that's on top of the 3% that's already charged, which means you as a consumer, because a lot of these businesses, because merchant processing now allows you, the consumer, to pay that fee. Because truthfully, especially when it comes to mom and pop local shop, they already have the leanest profit margins. So honestly, if it was up to me, I would say basically let me as a consumer pay the merchant processing fee for mom and pop Venti shop. If it's big boys, big co, they need to pay it. Don't have me pay it. They need to pay it. They've got the profit margin and they've got the margin to do it. We don't. Okay. So, you're talking about now adding another 3.1%. A lot of these businesses are passing 3% to the consumer, which means the consumer now to pay with a credit card is paying up to 6% for using a card. 6%. $100 bill, right? Is an extra $6 of the $100 bill. On top of the tax, you're already paying. On top of the tip, you're already paying. Plus this processing fee, right? I don't know, man. It's a high fee, but it doesn't surprise me because it just seems like, why do these guys do this? I don't understand why. And I obviously I'm just speculating here, but what it seems to me is these states basically put things in play. They know that long term are going to cause major damage, but they need money today. You saw this last year when California raised fast food minimum wage to $20 an hour. It was purely to generate more revenue for the state, to generate a paycheck. And so everybody knew it. The fast food workers literally didn't see, they saw a few extra dollars for their paycheck. But because those type of individuals typically also shop at fast food, that means that all of their competitors had to raise their rates to compensate for the higher hourly rate, which means that worker doesn't see any more money into their bottom line at the end of their 2-week period. It's the same. It just generated more money for the state. And the state says, you know what? It's going to cost us in the long run, but look, we need the money today. Man, if people would just leave the politics out and they just focus on what's best for the people, we will never see this crap happen. Never, dude. Why? I'm not just talking left or right. I mean, we heard over the freaking weekend, bro. What was that one chick on the right that Trump ended up firing, Kristi Noem, I think, who authorized $250 million for her to be prancing around on a freaking horse like a Budweiser commercial? What? What? That's my money, bro. I am sick and tired of the king and everybody that works in the freaking castle sitting up there, and they never lower the drawbridge and trotch down to the village and hang out with us peasants. Never. What the hell, bro? Do you think anywhere in common sense, if you asked a consumer, would you be cool if that's where your tax? This is what everything that you do in politics. You should have a survey, 1,000 person, even 100 person, 100-person random survey, left, right, states, just randomly. If administration don't put a side to it, if they did X, would you be okay with it? And take the percentage, and there's your answer. Because nobody would approve this crap, bro. Nobody. Look, if that's where she was fired, fantastic. You just can't. Mismanaging our money, those days are gone. 2026 is the year of the Great Awakening. We are all waking up to the crap you guys have been doing to us for decades. We see it, bro. We see it. Okay. The freaking BS food pyramid you shoved down our throats in the 80s. Yeah, the food pyramid. Yeah. Where everything we're supposed to consume is supposed to be freaking cereals, breads, grains, rices. Yeah. Yeah. You morons. Right here. Right there, bro. Morons. In a state that is charging another 3%, which is either costing the customer more or the small business more. Moron. Okay. What else is going on in the news, man? I told you, man, today is a fiery day in the news, man. SBA 7A credit floor tightens to 165 SBSS score. So as of today, the minimum small business scoring service score for automated SBA 7A loan approval has been raised to 165. Okay, it used to be 155. But they're trying to tighten the credit floor for uncollateralized loans. The collateralized loans have a different scoring. So credit's big, but they also look at the asset value. But SBA, even though they still have better than non-traditional lending platforms, it's not good enough. So it's still better than everybody else, but now it's 10 points higher. So the instant yes, basically that doesn't happen anymore. And you kind of see, man, it was like, basically if you had no credit, you had a green card, you weren't a citizen, that's who was getting all the money. I know. It was like, now they're going back to the way it was. It wasn't like this, it didn't used to always be like this. Most of the time you needed a decent credit score. Hello, Fannie and Freddie, right? Go get your traditional mortgages, right? Decent credit score. Okay. Not like bottom of the barrel, but like decent. Okay. I'm not saying 800. I'm not even saying 720, 650, or 165. I'm like, that's like nothing. It was 155. Like that's nothing. Okay. I'm guessing like 200. Like now, this is a huge merchandising becomes the 2026 survival. Okay. So here's the story. The new retail analytics show that while e-commerce is growing, 80% of shoppers still happens, 80% of shopping still happens in store. So the trend for 2026 is co-equity merchandising, where unrelated but vibe match brands share a physical space to drive discovery. Meaning 2 or 3 of you guys, like a local, like you could do a florist. Like I'm going to find out real quick, what would be the 5 best co-equity merchandising businesses that would do well together in this business model. Let's just see. Let's see what it says. Which businesses would do best in this model where it kind of makes sense? Really? So the Analog Connection Hub, like that's the independent bookstore, okay? The artisanal stationery, right? So it's got like that little coffee shop vibe, okay? Then you've got a wellness oasis, indoor plant shop, and botanical mocktail bar. The Adventure Depot, okay, local outdoor outfitter plus national coffee roaster. The Modern Maker Boutique, apparel plus local jewelry maker. The Home Sanctuary, specialized furniture plus sustainable home favorite. Oh my God, bro. I'm creating, dude. I'm going to create tomorrow for Tactical Tuesday. I'm going to have this entire business plan built. We can do all these for under $1,000. Okay. Dude. Okay. I'm taking all this. Okay. And I'm putting this in. I'm creating a business plan right now for tomorrow. Okay. I can't wait, bro. Tomorrow, dude, you got tomorrow's Tackle Tuesday. We're going to tear all this down and apart. Okay. Done. All right. Tomorrow, wait until tomorrow. Your mind is going to melt. Okay. Now, let's see. All right. Okay. Look, guys, I know today was a phenomenal day of news. Now, if we can, it is Magical Monday, which means we need a quick little dad joke. Because look, we know that we got to start this day off with Josh, Jawsh. Trust me, this dude just every day. Only on Mondays do I give you a Josh video, mainly because I always get copyrighted, but also because it's Magical Monday. I really need that dude on Mondays, okay? And I really need my dad jokes on Monday, okay? So why don't we talk about a great little dad joke, shall we? Shall we? I know. Hold on. 2 seconds here. All right. Here we go. Remember, Magical Monday. All right. Why don't skeletons fight each other? Don't spit out your coffee. You guys already know it. These dudes don't have the guts to do that, bro. You already know it. Okay. You guys need that first morning dad joke. I know you need it. Those damn skeletons don't got the guts, bro. They don't got the guts. All right. Now, let's jump into a reframe from Scott Adams, Chapter 2, How to Reframe Your Brain. You guys know Scott Adams passed away January 13th of this year. I always call him our modern day oracle. I call him Pops number 3. He was a huge influential individual in my life. And so every day we just take one of his reframes and we just kind of process it and we work through it together. You guys know the purpose of this show is to get 1% smarter. But by the way, we didn't even start with this day in history. There was that much news today. I had that much news. We couldn't even do this day in history. I know. But knowing what your job is. So this is from Chapter 2, Success Reframes. We are trained to believe our job is a set of tasks we accomplish for an employer in return for money. That's how I saw it. And this is Scott speaking. That's how I saw it until a CEO shared with me his approach to business. He viewed his career as a nonstop search for a better job, and because of that, changed jobs and companies often. Apparently, it worked because he was the head of a company when I met him. The usual frame, your job is what your boss tells you it is. Here's a new way of looking at it. Here's a reframe. Your job is to get a better job. If you're a business owner, your job is to make yourself a better boss. Your job is constantly putting that dude in the rearview mirror, like always. Don't confuse your job with the work your employer wants you to do. The boss might want you to process all the pending orders by quitting time, but your job is to get a better job. Everything else you do should service that reframe. If it doesn't help you leave the job you are in and upgrade, it might not be worth doing. But don't worry about this line of thinking. If it feels sociopathic, doing a good job on your assigned duties is one way to look good for promotions. And by the way, this is our philosophy too, because we're always growing and we're big believers in hiring and promoting from within. So we always say this, like for you to basically be looked at a new role within the organization, you gotta find, hire, and basically train your replacement. You gotta clone your replacement, right? So you're always working yourself out of a job, always, right? The reframe minds us to be in continuous job search mode, including on the first day of work at a new job. If that sounds unethical, consider that your employer would drop you in a second if the business required it. In a free market, you can do almost anything that is normal and legal. Changing jobs for any reason you want is normal. Unfortunately, we are wired as humans with a baked-in loyalty meter, and 95% of companies don't have that. So you feel a sense of loyalty and they share none towards you, right? Your employer's job is to take care of the shareholders. Your job is to take care of you. That doesn't always mean acting selfishly. If being generous with your time and energy seems as if it will have the better long-term payoff, do that. Your employer might want to frame employees as a family. We're seeing this big with like the TPUSA stuff, like, oh, we're family, and then like firing everybody because they think they're leaking. It's crazy, right? Working a million hours a week, we're family. I don't know for sure, but I kind of heard that you were leaking some stuff, so you're terminated. Right. Well, we just got done working like 100-hour weeks, told we were family, and we can't be let go. Right. I know, but I need to walk you out. I need your badge. I'm sorry, what? What? Yeah. Yeah, that's it. So, yeah, companies do this all the time. That's to divert you from the fact that they will fire you at will, and they will. They don't want you to know you have the same power to fire them. But part of the job of leadership is convincing you that what is good for the leader is good for you. Sometimes that is the case, but keep your priorities clear. You are number one. You are number one. You are enough. You are. You are. So, did that help you? Did that kind of help encourage you? Because I know you guys are kind of stuck. Like, should I not do this? I kind of thought that would be something that would be encouraging for you guys. I know it was for me. The dirty little truth. Thank you for a little laugh. Okay, guys. Well, today being Magical Monday, I hope I did not disappoint. Okay. You guys know if that wasn't the best Magical Monday that you've ever seen, play it. I don't know what is. Okay. But bottom line for you guys, you know, everything we talk about here, if you think it's hard or you think it's easy, you're right. Don't just work in your business. Make sure you guys mind your own business. All right, my beautiful people, you got the news, you got the tips and tricks. Now go own this day. My name is Aaron Novinger, and you guys know what time it is. What time is it, my beautiful peeps? It's time. It's time to freaking get to work. Kapow!